Have you ever wondered why some people change their lives completely, while others stay stuck for years, even though they dream just as big? Think about this for a second. What if the real reason behind success or failure is not talent, luck, or money, but the tiny things you do every single day without noticing? Most people wait for a perfect moment, a big push, a sudden change. But that moment almost never comes. In this story from English Story Archive, you'll discover how one ordinary boy stayed lazy for years, not because he lacked ability, but because he ignored small habits that quietly shape our future. And here's the reward for watching till the end. You'll walk away with one simple idea that you can apply today, an idea that can slowly change the direction of your life without pressure, fear, or big promises. Now, let's begin where it all went wrong. Before we move forward, let me ask you something honestly. If small actions truly matter, why do we ignore them every day? We all talk about big goals, a better career, a healthier body, a successful future. But when it comes to small daily effort, we delay it. We say, "I'll start tomorrow." And slowly, tomorrow turns into years. That's how dreams fade without making any noise. If this idea already feels familiar, take a second to support stories like this. Like this video, and subscribe to English Story Archive, because every story here is designed to leave you with something real, not just motivation, but direction. Now, to understand how small habits can silently control an entire life, you need to meet someone very ordinary. His story looks simple on the surface, but what happened to him can happen to anyone, including you. In a quiet town lived a boy named Ethan. He was not a genius. He was not a failure either. He was just like most people. Average at studies. Normal at sports. Full of dreams, but slow in action. Ethan often imagined a successful future. He wanted respect. He wanted stability. He wanted to become someone people admired. But there was one problem he never took seriously. He was deeply undisciplined. He would start things with excitement and quit them without guilt. Homework, exercise, learning new skills, everything followed the same pattern. One day of effort, then weeks of delay. His favorite sentence was simple and dangerous: "I'll do it tomorrow." Ethan believed big success needed big effort, and because big effort felt scary, he did nothing at all. And without realizing it, his life stayed exactly the same. At first, Ethan didn't see his behavior as a problem. He thought he had time. Plenty of it. After all, everyone around him said he was still young, still learning, still figuring things out. But days passed. Then weeks. Then years. And nothing changed. His parents reminded him to stay regular. His teachers advised him to build discipline. They spoke with care, but their words never stayed long in his mind. Ethan listened, nodded, and went back to his old routine. Deep inside, he was waiting for something big to happen. A sudden burst of motivation. A powerful reason to change. He believed that one day, his life would magically turn around. But life doesn't work that way. While Ethan waited for a miracle, time kept moving forward. And slowly, without making any sound, his habits were deciding the future for him. One ordinary afternoon, something unexpected happened. Ethan met a man who would quietly change the direction of his thinking. The man was known in town for his calm nature and simple wisdom. People often went to him for advice, not because he spoke loudly, but because his words stayed with you. Seeing Ethan's restless mind, the man smiled and asked a simple question: "Do you really believe your life will change without changing what you do every day?" The question hit Ethan harder than any lecture before. He didn't answer right away. No one had ever asked him this so directly. The man continued, "Most people fail not because they aim too low, but because they ignore small actions. They wait for big changes and miss the power of small ones." For the first time, Ethan felt uncomfortable in a good way. He knew this conversation mattered. The man invited Ethan to sit for a moment. There was no pressure in his voice, no attempt to impress. He simply spoke with patience. "Let me tell you a short story," he said, "because answers are easier to understand through stories." Ethan listened carefully. Many years ago, the man began. A farmer planted a bamboo seed. Every single day, he watered it and cared for it. But after 1 year, nothing happened. 2 years passed, still nothing. People laughed at him. They said the seed was useless. Ethan leaned in without realizing it. Then in the 5th year, the man continued. Something incredible happened. In just a few weeks, the bamboo grew taller than any plant around it. The man paused and looked at Ethan. "Tell me," he asked softly, "do you think the bamboo grew only in those few weeks, or was it growing quietly all along, when no one could see?" That question stayed in Ethan's mind long after the conversation ended. Ethan walked home that day in silence. His mind replayed the story again and again. The bamboo had not failed. It had not been slow. It had been preparing. While nothing showed on the surface, strong roots were growing underneath. For the first time, Ethan saw his own life clearly. He realized he had been judging progress only by visible results. If nothing changed quickly, he gave up. If success didn't come fast, he stopped trying. Just like everyone who mocked the farmer, he had lost patience with himself. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. A simple thought kept returning. What if my efforts were not useless? What if I quit too early every time? What if small actions, done daily, could quietly build something stronger inside me? By morning, Ethan knew one thing for sure. Waiting for a big change had wasted enough time. It was time to ask a different question. Not how to change his life in one day, but how to start small, today. The next day, Ethan went back to the man with a different attitude. There was no confusion in his eyes this time, only honesty. He said quietly, "If small habits really matter so much, then tell me where I should begin." The man smiled. He had been waiting for this question. "Most people ask how to change their whole life," he said. "Very few ask how to change their day." He explained that success is not built by doing something huge once, but by doing something small again and again. No pressure. No perfection. Just consistency. Ethan felt relief instead of fear. For the first time, change didn't feel heavy. It felt possible. The man added one last thing. If you try to change everything at once, you will fail. But if you change one small habit, you give yourself a chance. That moment became the real beginning. Not of instant success, but of quiet progress. The man began with the simplest habit of all. "Start your day a little earlier," he said. "Not suddenly. Just 1 hour before your usual time." He explained how that single hour, repeated every day, slowly creates space for growth. Ethan had never thought about time that way. 1 hour felt small, safe, manageable. "Use that time for yourself," the man continued. "Read a few pages. Stretch your body. Sit quietly and think. That hour is not for pressure. It is for direction." Ethan nodded. For once, the advice didn't feel overwhelming. There was no demand to become perfect, no promise of instant success. Just a small promise to show up. That same night, Ethan set his alarm a little earlier. Not because he was motivated, but because he was curious. Curious to see what would happen if, for once, he actually followed through on something small. Once Ethan managed that first habit, the man added another gentle step. "Feed your mind every day," he said. "Just a little." He explained that reading even 10 pages a day can slowly change the way a person thinks. Ethan used to love stories, but he rarely finished a book. He always waited for the right mood. This time, he chose a different rule. No mood. No pressure. Just 10 pages. Some days, it felt boring. Other days, it felt inspiring. But he kept going. And without realizing it, new ideas started to replace old excuses. His thinking became calmer, clearer. The man also taught him to set small goals. Not big dreams written on walls, but tiny actions written for the day. A small goal completed is more powerful than a big goal delayed, he said. For the first time, Ethan felt progress. Not loud, not dramatic, but real. The man knew that Ethan's biggest enemy was not laziness, but delay. So he shared one more powerful idea. Whenever you feel like postponing something, he said, count down in your mind. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then start. Don't think. Just move. Ethan tried it the same day. A small task he usually avoided was finished in minutes. That surprised him. The man also suggested another rule. Tell yourself you'll do it for just 2 minutes. Most of the time, starting is the hardest part. Along with action, the man spoke about gratitude. Each night, Ethan wrote down 3 simple things he was thankful for. At first, it felt strange. Then it felt calming. He added 10 minutes of daily movement.
No gym. No excuses.
And he reduced phone time by asking one question: is this helping me or wasting me? These habits didn't change Ethan overnight, but they changed him quietly, and that made all the difference. For the first few weeks, nothing dramatic happened. Ethan still felt the same on the outside. But something was shifting inside him. He started finishing small tasks without forcing himself. His mind felt lighter. His days felt more organized. The constant guilt of unfinished work slowly faded. After a few months, others began to notice. His focus improved. His confidence grew. He spoke with more clarity. He no longer waited for motivation. He acted first, and motivation followed. Ethan realized something important. Discipline was not punishment. It was freedom. Freedom from stress. Freedom from regret. There were still bad days. He still felt lazy sometimes. But the difference was simple. He didn't quit anymore. Small habits had become part of who he was, and they were quietly building the roots of a stronger future. By the end of the year, the change was impossible to ignore. Ethan was no longer the boy who waited for the perfect moment. He had become someone who showed up, even on ordinary days. His results improved. His energy stayed steady. More importantly, his self-respect returned. He trusted himself again. When he made a promise, even a small one, he kept it. Years later, Ethan's life looked very different. He built a successful path for himself, not through sudden luck, but through quiet consistency. People often asked him the same question: what changed everything for you? Ethan always smiled before answering. He never spoke about talent or motivation. He spoke about habits. Small ones. Daily ones. He would say, I stopped waiting for big changes. I started building small ones. And just like the bamboo, what once grew silently beneath the surface had finally risen higher than anyone expected. Now, let me ask you something before this story ends. What is one small habit you know you've been avoiding, even though you understand its value? Ethan's story is not special because he became successful. It's powerful because he started small and stayed patient. That same choice is available to you today. You don't need to change your whole life. You only need to change one small action. Take a moment and comment below. Which habit will you start today? Waking up earlier, reading a few pages, or taking action instead of delaying? Your comment might inspire someone else who feels stuck right now. If this story helped you, share it with someone who needs a quiet push forward. And don't forget to like and subscribe to English Story Archive for more simple stories that leave a real impact. Remember, small habits build strong roots, and strong roots always lead to lasting growth.